Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining my talk. As Adam said, I'm going to talk about work-life balance with Chrome extension. My name is Keren Kenzi. I'm a senior software engineer, as he said, and in my not-so-free time, I also study psychology. And those are my buddies from my previous work, Bashan and Ido. And let's talk about Chrome extensions. You're all probably familiar with Chrome extensions such as Adblocker probably, or if you're using React and Redux, you're probably using Redux DevTools. If not, you should give it a try. It will help you to see the state, the action, etc. And I want to start by asking you, what is your favorite Chrome extension? You can scan this QR. Don't worry, it's anonymous. So if you have this Chrome extension you're using you're embarrassed of, don't worry, I won't know. Nobody will know. Yeah? Connected? Great. You can enter more than one answer, and you can insert more than one word in each option. Welcome. You're just in time to answer the question, what is your favorite Chrome extension? Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Welcome, everyone. We're having a quiz. We're raffling a car. Just joking. We just want to know what is your favorite Chrome extension. It's anonymous. You can join. Okay. Now let's start seeing the result. Okay. Ad blocker. Ad blocker. If you know, this is a cloud word. It increases the words that are most common. Ad block origin. Sorry. JSON view. Great. It's anonymously known. Great to know. Netflix. I didn't know they had one. Great. JSON viewer. Ad blocker. Okay. So I will leave it at that. We're obviously familiar with a few Chrome extensions. And I'm going to cover a bit the basic of Chrome extension. Chrome extension are event-based programs that enhance our browsing experience. They include several components, such as service workers. Those run in the background and listen to events such as adding a bookmark, opening a new tab, navigating to a new page, etc. They listen to those events and react accordingly. They have direct access to certain APIs that they can use. We have the content script, which runs in the context of the web page itself. They can read and modify the web page. For example, you can use them to change the background color, which is usually used in the Chrome extension, which like dark mode, etc. And you can also increase or change the font size, which is great for accessibility. We also have UI element. Those components are, for example, the pop-up components. And we have option page, which allows us to customize our extension behavior by providing a few options to choose from. And I want to ask you a question. How long can you sit in front of the computer without standing, without taking a break? Just throw out numbers. Hour? 1 hour? 2 hours? Can I get more? Go. 5? Wow. I once played a game. I stayed at the same position for 8 hours. I shouldn't do it again. I won't. Especially with this Chrome extension. And what we're going to do today is to write a Chrome extension that reminds us, notifies us, brings notification to the screen to remind us to take that long break after 30 minutes, for example. It's recommended to take a break, stretch, or even change the, if you have a standing desk, you should switch it to sitting or standing up, etc. So let's jump to the live coding session. And we need to start by creating the folder, the directory that will hold all the files of our Chrome extension. But before we do that, what we need to do is to go to the extension management page. We can go there by clicking on settings and going over here to the extension. Wait, I increased it too much. So you can see here the extension page. What we want to do in order to actually develop it and see it on dev kind of server is to click the developer mode. And after that, we will load and unpack the directory we just created. So let's step back to the directory. I've already pre-downloaded a few images we're going to use for the Chrome extension. One of them is this coding lady. And we're going to start by adding our mandatory file, which is the manifest file. It's a JSON file that will hold all the relevant information and required information about our Chrome extension. So let's go ahead and in file. If I have any typos, it's because I'm nervous. It's a manifest. And what we need to do, so in each manifest file, we need to provide 3. Do you see it from back? Yeah, great. So there are 3 mandatory fields, which are name, version, and manifest version. So let's add the name, work, life, balance, version. This will specify the version of our extension. You can choose any number that you like, as long as each time you publish a new version, you need to increase that number. That way, Chrome knows when it's time to update and upgrade your extension. For example, let's start with 0.1, and the manifest version is version number 3. Ever since January 2021, there's a new version. If you're used to working with manifest version 2, there are a few changes. Version 3 increases security, privacy, and performance, and you can read all the major and minor changes in the official documentation of Chrome Developer. And that's about it for the basic things we need. So what we want to do now is to go to the Chrome Extension Management page, click on Load and Unpack, and select our directory. And now we have this Chrome extension over here that we can manage and see all the details that we just provided. We can see the version number, the name, etc. If you add any permission, any site access, it will also appear here. And as you can see here, Chrome provides a default icon for our extension. It takes the first character of the name and add it as an icon. We have this, once we add a Chrome extension, we have this puzzle over here. This is the icon to represent extension. We can click on it and go to the Manage Extension page through it, and not just from the setting. And we can pin the extension to the toolbar. Now let's do some cosmetic changes. We want to change the icons that we see over here to something more nicer. So what we're going to do for that, we need to use a field called action. And we need to provide the default icon. And let's provide it with code PNG. You can choose whatever image that you like. I downloaded those 2 images from Pixabay, which is really nice. And let's go and refresh. Whenever we need we make changes to our extension, we need to click on the refresh button for the changes to take place. And now it's really tiny. I'm not sure if I can increase the toolbar, but you can see here that the icon changed. If we want to change the icons that appears over here and in the fav icon and during the installation, we need to provide a manifest with additional field, which is icons, as you might have guessed. Now we can provide several sizes. You should provide the 128 by 128 pixel image size, which will appear when you install the Chrome extension. 48 by 48 will be used in this management page. It will replace this one, and 16 by 16 will appear as a fav icon. Now, if you provide only one of them, don't worry. Chrome will take the provided image and resize it to fit the other location. So let's be original and use the same image for that one as well. Go ahead, refresh, and now we see a much nicer look to our Chrome extension. There's the cosmetic. Don't worry, we soon will get to the pop-up itself. And we can also provide description to our Chrome extension. Brings to your life, for example. And now let's go ahead and add our pop-up. So to do that, what we need to do is to create another file, as you guessed, HTML file with the original name, for example, as pop-up HTML without the typos. And we can see over here, HTML file was created. Okay, so for the sake of this live coding, I will add a header. Let's add a nice image, a different one this time. Stretch. Let's give it some width and height. And I want to add two buttons, one for setting the reminder to take a break and the other one for cancel it. And we should provide IDs to those buttons. That way in the pop-up JS file, which we're about to create, we can use it and use the document API to get the element by this ID. So let's call it reminder. And let's call this, as you might have guessed, cancel. And for the button of the reminder, we want to give it a value. The value will represent the amount of minutes we want to set the reminder for. For example, if we want to take a break every 30 minutes, we're going to set the value of this button to 30. But for the sake of this session, and because we want to see it live or during this session and not the other, we will set it to 1 minute. So we will set value to 1. And now let's add the script that will listen to the on-click event. So we will soon create this pop-up file, pop-up.js file. And let's go and add it over here. Now let's use the document API, get element by ID, reminder. Can you guess the what we need to add now? Event listener, as you might have guessed. We need to provide it. Wait a second. Okay. Add event listener for click. And let's call a function set reminder. And let's add another one for the cancel as well. Click and cancel reminder. Now let's go ahead and create those functions. Function, and let's create another function for cancel. Now in the set reminder, what we want to do is to give the user some kind of indication that the reminder is set, and in the cancel as well. And we also want to trigger an alarm that will be listened to in our background script that runs in the background, as I said, and listen to event, react accordingly, and so on and so on. So let's start by setting the reminder and showing the user a kind of indication that this reminder is set. We're going to use the action API for that, and we will add a badge, a little badge over the toolbar icon that will be set to on or off depending on which button that we clicked on. So Chrome action set badge text. Now the text can be up to 4 characters. I know it seemed quite a bit, but on and off, it's good enough for on and off, and it gives some sort of additional indication to the user, which is always useful, and it keeps the Chrome extension purposeful and minimal, as we don't want to distract the user from the browsing experience itself. So we have this badge over here. Let's see if it works before we do anything else. When we I forgot something else. What? You're correct. I'm just checking to see if you're listening to this talk or sleeping after lunch, you know. Yeah. Okay, so we need to add this pop-up to the manifest file to declare it over here. What we want to do is declare the default pop-up under the action. So let's add it over here, default pop-up, and call. Okay, let's go and refresh. Let's see if it works. Now we have this kind of pop-up, which is really nice, but the CSS is a bit, could use an improvement. So I've already pre-created this file for the CSS to save us some time so we can have more rest before the other talk. So let's go ahead to the pop-up HTML, add this snippet over here, refresh it, click. This is much, I hope you can agree with me, it looks better. And as the IT crowd, if one of you is familiar, let's try to turn it off and on again, just to see the button. Do you see the button? Toggle? Great. And additional thing we can do is to add some color indication. It will be easier to see if the pop-up is on or off. So we can also set, other than the text, we can set the background color. So let's go to the popup.js file and use action API, this time set badge background color. And for example, let's set the color to, I hope I won't have any typos. Okay, yes. Impressive, yeah? It's a I could have gone with green, but I'm living on the edge. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's see if it works. So let's try, and it works. We have gray and green, which is pops up in the eye, right? So let's do what we need to do, which is to set the alarm. So we're going to use the alarm API. We need to create an alarm. It receives delay in minute. There are other properties you can use as option. For example, you can use other than delay in minute. You can set intervals, etc. But for this example, we will use delay in minutes. Remember the value we provided to the button, we're going to use it here. And let's distract the target from the event we receive. That way we can use access the value. Okay, and let's also close the pop-up. We don't want it to remain open. Let's go close, and let's do the same when we cancel. Okay, and what else do I need here? I think that's okay. Okay, there is going to be an error, don't worry. It's a little spoiler. I'm going to refresh this one, and I'm going to click on set reminder. Look how nice, we got a new button in town called error. When we click on it, we can see you cannot read property of an undefined create. And it also marks the location of that error. And you might have guessed that we need something when you use this API. So whenever you want to use certain APIs, you need to ask for the permission to use it. So in order to do that, we need to go to the manifest file and ask for permission. And we can provide an array of the APIs we want to use. And now we can go back, clear the errors, refresh it. And now hopefully we are not seeing any errors, so we fixed this problem, which is really good. And now we're going to go ahead and add the background script, the service worker. And for the sake of simplicity, let's call it background. And in this background file, what we're going to do is to listen for the on alarm. Chrome. Okay. Alarm, on alarm. Dot add listener. And what we want to do in this add listener is to set a notification. So we're going to use a new API. As you might have guessed, it is called notifications. and we want to do create notification. We can provide several options. For example, the type of the notification. Let's go with basic. We can provide icon URL. Let's go with a stretch image this time. We can provide a title, which will be work-life balance. And we can also provide a message. Okay, additional thing, we want to require interaction. Why is that? We want to make sure that the user, in this case us, sees the pop-up and actually take that much needed break. So let's set it to true. Additional thing we want to do is actually to cancel the badge. We don't need it anymore because we got our reminder. So again, we need to use the Chrome API, action, set text badge, and set it to the equivalent to an empty string. And what we need to do now is to go to the manifest file and add a background script, and also add a permission for the notification API. And let's add a background script. Like this. We need to call service worker and provide it with usually I type faster, it's just like this. I'm nervous a bit. So let's refresh it. And we can see here that we can inspect our service worker. When we click on it, we can see the code. If I increase it a bit. Yeah. Okay, like this. We can put breakpoints. We can add a print to the log. We will be able to see it here. It gives us another ability to inspect, debug our Chrome extension, which is really, really great. And let's try it. Do you think it would work? Yes, yes. It's live demo. Usually things don't go well in a live demo. So let's click on the stretch reminder. In the meantime, I can suggest you will give it a try and maybe try to implement in a similar way the Pomodoro technique, which is used for productivity if you haven't heard about it. The Pomodoro technique says that basically you need to take a break every 25 minutes, a 5-minute break, and after 4 repetitions, what you need to do is take a 15-minute break or half an hour break. You can watch a Netflix show or whatever, just don't binge watching. And that's about it. Let's see if the pop-up, now waiting for the pop-up to appear is the longest 1 minute I ever experienced because I don't know it won't work. I will try to turn it off and on again if it doesn't. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. Tam ta-da! Oh, we got our notification. Thank you. You saw how easy it was? Like we can take our basic JavaScript, HTML, and CSS knowledge and apply it to implement our own Chrome extension. Like I'm not an expert on Chrome extension. I just love the fact that I can utilize my knowledge from front-end developers to do something really cool that actually helps me in my day job to be more productive, keep more healthy life balance, to stand up and stretch. And I think it's a reminder for us all to like take a minute and relax and stretch. So come on guys, stand up. We've been sitting here for at least half an hour, so it's it's time to take a break. Stretch. Just don't hit the ones behind you or in front of you on the sides, whatever. Stretch a bit, do the exercise. We've been sitting for long sessions throughout the day and also yesterday. So I'm really proud of you. And thank you very much for listening to this talk. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will create your own Chrome extension, and I will see it on the Chrome extension web store, sorry. And that's about it.